You click an ad for an interesting book, but the second the web page loads, you see an alert about your recent orders. You click over to track a package, and you completely forget about the book you wanted to buy. Sending traffic from social media straight to a massive digital retailer is like trying to have a deep conversation in the middle of a chaotic carnival. There is simply too much noise. Let's look at how one independent author solved this problem. They wrote a highly specific guide on how to roast coffee beans at home, and they found a clever way to entirely bypass the chaos. They used a strategy called an editorial bridge page. This animated diagram shows exactly how it works. On the left, traffic bounces off a cluttered layout filled with distractions. On the right, traffic flows smoothly down a single focused path. Think of this bridge page as a quiet waiting room. It sits directly between the fast-paced social media advertisement and the final checkout cart. Many writers assume their books aren't selling because their writing is bad. The reality is that massive online stores are mathematically designed to show you shiny objects, pulling your attention away before you can finish a purchase. To fix this, our coffee author moves the reader out of the digital carnival and into a quiet library. When you click their ad, you're greeted with a relatable story about waking up and brewing a fresh pot of coffee, only to take a sip of something completely stale and bitter. Notice what is deliberately missing from the start of this story. There is no title for a book and absolutely no price tag. We all have a built-in reflex to ignore things that look like advertisements. By hiding the commercial elements, the author stops that defensive reflex from ever kicking in. Instead, the page looks like this. It is a clean, minimalistic layout that mimics a high-quality magazine artisan. It focuses entirely on text and wide margins, with zero sidebar menus. Because this layout lacks a shopping cart or brightly colored sales buttons, you are directed toward a single action. You read the text and you scroll. By stripping away the sales pressure and relying on a well-told story, the bridge page disarms your skepticism. You arrive as a casual clicker and slowly turn into an invested reader. Eventually, you reach the absolute bottom of the page. You've absorbed the story and you understand the problem with your morning coffee. Only now, after the narrative completely finishes, does the coffee roasting guide actually appear on your screen. You just spent 3 minutes learning why your coffee tastes bad. Right as you transition from seeking information to wanting a solution, the author offers one. This animated flowchart maps out how the author structures this final pitch. There are 3 separate buttons you can click at the end of the article, but they all merge into a single direct path to the exact same checkout page. You don't have to choose formats right now. The page smoothly guides you forward, removing decision fatigue. The author waits until trust is fully established. By the time you are asked to spend a dime, you are already entirely sold on the idea. Now we are back in that noisy, crowded online store, but your mindset is completely different. You click the link at the bottom of the story, and you finally land on the actual digital storefront. This time, you don't care about your past orders. You ignore the algorithmic recommendations for phone cases and batteries. You are completely invested in acquiring this specific coffee guide. You know exactly what you want, and you complete the transaction without hesitation. If you want to sell your work online, don't yell at people in the middle of a crowded digital marketplace. Invite them into a quiet space and tell them a great story first. A well-crafted bridge page acts as a filter. It protects your audience's focus, turns distracted clicks into committed buyers, and captures the sales that normally vanish into the noise of the internet.